डिलीट होता नहीं पूरा निकाल कुछ करके आप तो होगा तो पूरा करना नहीं।
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Krishna and I'm your training for the day. I'm your trainer for the day. Just a moment, let me quickly put my phone on mute. Could you just confirm if you are able to hear me, if I'm audible, and if you can see my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. First of all, a warm welcome to everyone to this Ariba tutorial session. In this session, we'll be going to talk about what exactly Ariba solution is and what Ariba procurement is all about and where exactly the Ariba solution fits in the entire ERP marketplace, right? So in addition to that, we'll also look into the aspects like what modules are or what sub-modules are available in Ariba portfolio or Ariba solution landscape. We'll go through that as well. So as we go along, you will get to know more about what exactly topics we'll be going to cover. I hope you might have received some update around or some information around the content or the agenda, but we will get into the details as we move forward. Okay. If you have any question, you can definitely raise it through the chat window, or you can unmute yourself and raise your query. But yes, we will be taking the questions as we go along this content. This is primarily the demo session. So in this one, we'll talk about the value proposition, what exactly the solution is all about, and what are the features, and what exactly as a consultant you need to be aware of while working on these modules. Okay, so let me move forward. So before we get into the actual solution related information, just wanted to know your thoughts or your inputs on procurement. How many of you understand procurement and the procurement related terminologies or methodologies? How many of you understand that? Like the reason for asking this question was to just get some understanding about how many of you are familiar with the procurement related background. So basis that we can discuss in detail, but I should have prepared a poll. I'll make sure you have the poll questions in the coming sessions so that we'll make this session more interactive. Okay, so if we talk about what procurement is all about, it's a process of finding and agreeing to the terms, or it's a process of purchasing a material, goods or services for the organization. So in most of the cases, what we do, we look after any of the e-commerce application or e-commerce platform like Amazon, Flipkart, or any other e-commerce platform. Here we act as a business to consumer model. But in Ariba or in any other procurement related area or procurement related world, it is purely B2B, that is business to business scenario. So when you're doing business, organizations have to categorize their budgets and their funds in two categories, that is direct procurement and second is indirect procurement. It's basically, it means in your organizations, what are your crucial or critical categories or areas on which you will be spending that will directly impact your overall performance of the organization, that will go to the direct procurement category. Indirect will definitely, as you can see here, the brief explanation here: maintenance, repairs, operating supplies, outsourcing, or any other additional stuff that will go into the indirect. So please remember, this categorization is not hard and fast, or it's not really standard, or I would say it's not really strict that, for example, I'm saying if it's a EPC company, or if it's a raw materials or a manufacturing company, for them, the direct procurement would be, the high quantity, like whatever raw materials they are buying to make a finished product. So that will be the direct procurement category for them. However, if you look at an OEM like HP or Dell, they also manufacture the laptops and desktop computers, right? So for them, the IT category would be the direct procurement. Okay, this is just a brief example I wanted to give you, but we will go into the length and details in the coming sessions. Just hold on to it, and we'll talk much about this topic at a later stage. Okay, so basically, in direct procurement, the quantities will be always high, large, and in indirect procurement, quantity will be obviously low. For indirect procurement, I can quote one small example here. It's like if you see in office, you generally walk up to a stationary person in your office and ask for a scribbling pad or pens or some stationary items, right? So that goes into indirect procurement. So obviously, the quantity will be low, the frequency will be relatively high because you keep needing them, or you keep you keep using them, so you need to refill your stocks, and that's how it goes on. So overall, the features, like you can see, quantity, frequency, value, nature, and examples are mentioned here. But however, to give you some more or a better sense of understanding about how this works, we will discuss about this in detail in our coming topics, or in the next topics. Then, until this point, we spoke about, or I have mentioned about procurement, what exactly it's categorized as, and how it is perceived, or how it is actually looked after by the organizations. So the next step is about purchasing. So let us say you want to place an order for a laptop, or place an order for a headset. Or these days, it's quite fancy that you are placing orders for chairs. Maybe not now, but a couple of months back, you were placing orders for a lot of office chairs, right? So that was going through one of the modules of Ariba, which I will discuss in some time. So Ariba guided buying is one of the modules where it's clearly shows how exactly a quick buying experience can be brought to the doorstep of the users or the consumers of applications, right? So before you place any order, what exactly goes behind the screen is what this picture depicts. I just try to go through the points one by one. Like if you look at this demand generation or demand determination, so this is basically like creating a requisition, or understanding, before even creating a requisition, understanding why exactly you require this. So when you're about to join an organization, there goes in the demand determination, like how many laptops or what exactly resources are required. Resources means laptops, or the elements that are necessary to get the job done. That is resources. So that's where the determination, or the decision would be taken, like how much and what quality, or what quantity we want to buy. That's what determined in the very first place. Then once the determination is done, once the decision is taken, then the next it goes to the sourcing team. So I'll come to each topic, but I'll just give you a gist here. The source determination. This module is linked or related to SAP Ariba sourcing module. Then next one is supplier selection. This is linked to SAP Ariba supplier management. Then next is purchase order processing. This is linked to SAP Ariba procurement. Then goes on, these are all pretty much linked or interlinked with each of these activities that are taking place on the right hand side. Okay, now once the demand determination is achieved, once it's completed, this source, it goes to the sourcing team. As you might have heard of, or you might have known, there are two teams which are actively working on all the purchasing related aspects of any organization. One is the operational procurement team, then second is the sourcing team. So basically they float all the RFPs, they conduct the auctions, right? They conduct the sourcing events with the help of Ariba sourcing module. So that's how you determine the suppliers or the vendors to get your job done. Once it is completed, you go to the supplier selection. So you have received almost like, let us say, 3 bids or 5 bids. Out of those 5 bids, you will select 1 bid or 2 bids based on your business requirement. Then you move to the supplier selection. So here in the supplier selection, you basically go through the formal procedure of evaluating your supplier credentials to understand whether they really fit to your or whether they are really, or to put it in a different way, to make your prospective supplier agreeing to the terms or whatever you agreed during the sourcing phase, that will be formalized or captured in the supplier selection phase. Once the supplier selection is completed, you will move to the purchase order processing. That's nothing but issuing the purchase order to a supplier. Then comes the order monitoring, goods receipt, invoice verification, and payment processing. This is pretty much self-explanatory, but quite intuitive to understand, or quite necessary to understand that these are all interlinked with all the modules, or each one of the module of SAP Ariba, which I'll be going to show you in a while. So I'll come to the questions, but before that, I would like to get into some more details so that I can take more questions. So to give a little brief introduction about Ariba, what is Ariba network? I'm not sure how many of you have heard or worked on Ariba earlier, but this is pretty much a like e-commerce platform, but it's not for B2C, that's business to consumer or business to customer purposes. It is for business to business purposes. So only companies can buy and sell on the Ariba network. That's pretty much as simple as that. This is, you can call Amazon or Flipkart or anything of business version. So this is hosted on the network and it's a cloud solution. So this can be deployed on any of the hyperscalers or the cloud service providers we have in the market right now. Though there are some preferences like Google Cloud, Azure, and AWS, like that we have for each geography. So accordingly, based on the business deals or as per the agreement between the buyers or the customers and the organization's partners, the necessary step or decision would be taken to deploy the solution in the right cloud platform. Okay, then as a supplier, what exactly a company or an individual does here is basically they expect one small thing or a one small action from the buyer side, but that small action would result in big business for suppliers. That is how how that happens. I'll be going to show you in a while. So buyers have to send out the trading relationship requests. What is that? Like in Facebook or in LinkedIn, you send a connection request. So similarly in Ariba as well, you need to send a connection request to establish a relationship between buyer network or buyer's Ariba account and supplier Ariba account, so that they could send the purchase orders and supplier will receive the PO and submit order confirmation and dispatch notice and invoice, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So basically, the Ariba network is, like I said, it's an e-commerce platform which provides a huge list of options or functionality and features like the catalogs as well. Catalogs are something like the the e-commerce platform like Amazon, wherein you get to see the moment you enter laptop in the search section, you get all the details along with the image that's maintained through this catalogs. Okay. And how the catalogs function or how the catalogs work, we will get into that at a later stage. But it's a quite innovative as well as very dear or very kind to Ariba, because there were no organizations using catalogs prior to Ariba introduced it to the market back in I think it was last decade, more than I think somewhere about 2010, 9, or somewhere about that time they introduced the catalogs, and at that time we didn't have catalogs. So for business to business purposes.
Question, this is Jaypal. Sorry to interrupt you. Can we customize the catalogs like as we are using in SRM like that? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Customize in the terms. Could you elaborate, please?
Yeah, customized, catalogs like we can use in SRM different types of catalogs for company-based catalogs or punch-out catalogs or different catalogs we can.
Right.
Will
Yeah.
it be done in Ariba? Are you able to catch me what I'm trying to ask you?
Yes, very much. Very much. I got your point. So basically, there are multiple or various types of catalogs. Like you rightly mentioned, we have punch-out catalogs. Then we have, there is another type of catalog which is managed by supplier managed catalogs or buyer managed catalogs. We'll get into that details, and we'll talk about more on the catalog side when we reach that topic. Okay. But yes, Ariba supports multiple or various types of catalogs.
Because this is a cloud-based, my question is that will it be done in the customization or only already predefined along with the software only we can use it, or we can also do the customization for our company-based company managed catalogs or punch out catalogs. Similarly, can we use the functionality of we were using in the SRM side?
Yeah,
that is my question.
Yeah, so if you are referring to SRM, then I think that's that module is very soon. I think that module is not existing anymore. Most of the customers.
Yeah, I know that. I have worked quite for some time. Even most of the clients are moving out to Ariba. That is the reason, because the client expect the add-on functionalities, because he wants earlier functionality must be there. If any add-on is there, he ready to take it, right? Because he doesn't want to lose the old functionalities, right?
Yes. So whatever was earlier there, everything is still continuing, but there are a lot more innovations or lot of updates happened on the catalog side as well. So yeah, to be very specific to answer your question, yeah. So there is customization available there, and you can use it as per the organization's requirement, like in the punch out side as well, how it has to work, how it the data exchange has to take place behind the firewalls or something like that, how the data exchange between the suppliers network or supplier system and buyer system, that rules will be discussed during the implementation phase. But yeah, the overall experience, user experience would remain same what was earlier.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to ask you, because of course, user always expects some new thing, but he doesn't want to lose the old functionalities, right? So that is what I would like to add on. Okay, thank you for I think moving forward we'll cover all these things. I think so. Carry on.
Yeah.
Hi, Jaypal, I have one question.
Yeah.
So actually, like I'm a CP MM background. And see, what I would like to know actually, like in this Ariba network, can you just show me like this, as you know, like a small scenario. So how is there any kind of customization or like, you know, it's in cloud, right? So this is not like a MM, I think.
Yeah. My
So
question
can
also
you,
same thing, friend, because
yeah, can you just
even
small scenario, can
I
you take it in how, and see one more
I
thing
will
here,
tell
I can see
you.
payment transfer. So is there a payment engine in SAP Ariba network for payment transactions?
I think in on-premise it might be there. I am not sure about in the cloud side. I think probably our trainer will explain. I don't think it will be there. Must be there, but I don't know how we can use it. That
Okay. So which module you are going to teach in this course, actually?
So we are going to
What?
discuss, we are going through the SAP Ariba procurement module, that is P2P, buying and invoicing module, or you would call it.
Okay. So there, how many modules are there in this?
Uh, so we
Whether
have
you need to
total.
go for all the modules or only P2P or how it is actually? That's what I'm not quite clear about it actually. Like whether we need to go for complete Ariba means like there are so many things are there, right? Like sourcing is there, or maybe procurement is there, procurement buying, supplier risk, a lot of things I heard actually. I don't know, to be frank, but what I heard I'm telling you. So it's quite confusing.
Yeah, you
If
can
I want
discuss.
to, yeah, if I want to go for it, so actually I don't know like which one to start or which one, you know, it has a benefit over other, or why should I go for, you know, like whether I need to go
Excuse
for
me.
sourcing or procurement, so many things. Yeah,
Please give him the time to show everything. Okay, he'll cover everything.
yeah, okay.
friend. My question also same thing, because I just want to know that what things you are going to cover during this part,
Mr.
and what
Jayant
are the
will
sub
show
modules
everything.
available.
He'll show you everything. He just
Yeah.
started. Let him explain. There are a lot of people from different backgrounds, and they want to know from tooth to nail. He'll explain everything, and there will be a Q&A session also, please.
Sure. Carry on, please.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah, thank you, guys. But please do not hesitate. You keep raising your questions, or just hold on to your questions, and we will take the Q&A session after covering certain topics or certain areas here. Then we can definitely discuss or take more questions. So let me move forward. And the payments part, Ariba Pay is not available in India. Maybe for other regions it is available, but yeah, to answer or to shortly answer your question or to keep it short, Ariba Pay is not, but yeah, invoicing is, yes, it's working, and I will discuss on that part. Okay, then, okay, the main thing, why Ariba? I mean, what are the actual, reasons, or why should you go for Ariba? That is because primarily it's a cloud solution. Now the entire world is moving towards cloud. So you definitely understand the benefits or privileges of having a cloud solution versus a on-prem solution. And from the maintenance perspective as well, it's becoming quite challenging these days because of the outages or some updates which are happening but not reflecting in your environments. That is again causing for some outages and delays. So to avoid that, most of the organizations have now moved to cloud, and still some are moving. I mean, it's an ongoing activity. So by 2030, we could definitely see most of the SAP customers or SAP users would have moved to a cloud environment versus where they are right now. Like for example, there might be like we have 10 customers. Out of 10, probably 3 or 4 might have moved to cloud, but 6 are still on the on-prem side. I'm not talking about Ariba, I'm talking about SAP. So now for the cloud, we have SAP S/4HANA, sourcing and procurement. So these 3 or 4 customers out of 10, which I mentioned, they have moved to that cloud platform, wherein like in MM, you go through the GUI or graphical user interface, and you use all the T codes and everything. So here you will access it through the Fiori app or Fiori Launchpad. So I will not get into more details of SAP S4 side, but yeah, The main reason or the main characteristic or main that the value of moving to the cloud is because it delivers quite quickly compared to the on-prem implementations or deployments. It also establishes effective governance model because you will have certain obligations to adhere before getting into the implementation, because during any cloud solution implementation, it requires a thoroughly skilled resources involved in that entire process, right? So that's about the governance model or engagement governance. Then next is co-innovate with customers. So in cloud solutions, mostly what is happening these days is like, along with the customers, the solution providers are also optimizing their solution, length and breadth, or I would say their solutions magnitude or the solutions entire impact on the market, right? So if you have seen the companies like Oracle, SAP, now ServiceNow, Salesforce, all these companies, they survive solely or very strongly on the basis of the partner ecosystem. So if the partners don't exist, these companies would really face hard time, right? It's not because of any business reasons, but there are multiple reasons. But yeah, so here there's another opportunity or a main characteristic, that is co-innovate with the customer. So you get a lot of opportunity here. Then a very last one or important one, that is driving customer satisfaction and solution adoption. So I'm not sure if you have subscribed to any of the OTT platforms or something. If you have subscribed to something, and when you are about to reach the expiration of your subscription period, you definitely see there's a lot of bombardment from the marketing teams or sales teams asking you or requesting you or trying to convince you to continue your subscription and renew your subscription on time. So that is nothing but the adoption. So satisfaction and adoption. So in the solution side, we call it solution adoption. So this is significant, and this is very important for any cloud service provider in the market to continue and exist with the competition. Okay, so these are the four main areas why majority of the market in the ERP side is moving to cloud, and what are its benefits. I have just explained. Then if we talk about the process, this is called the activate methodology. This is quite simple. Like whenever a customer, let us say there is ABC customer, they bought SAP Ariba procurement license, then what happens? You have to go and deploy that solution, right? So how that solution deployment begins, that begins at the discover, or to be precise, that begins at the prepare phase, okay? That prepare phase is nothing but the project kickoff phase. Here you discuss so many things. You first show them what are the features, what are the functionalities available on that day at that time in the solution, and what are the upcoming features. Thereafter, we exchange a lot of information and details with the customers during all these four phases. Then the last phase is deploy phase, wherein we complete all the quality gates, we complete all the queue gates, and we complete all the sprint planning, retrospections, everything. Once that is completed, we reach the deploy phase to attempt the go live. So once the go live is completed, you enter into the run phase, which is mostly about the post go live support, PGLS. So discover is predominantly it's the area of pre-sales and the operation side, wherein once the license is done, once the license is sealed, signed, there has to be some necessary logistics arrangement to be done. So that's what taken care in the discover phase. But the main, like for any consultant, technical or functional consultant of Ariba, they would be involved in these 4 phases quite actively. Okay, and the entire if you take any module of Ariba or SAP, like SAP SAP SD, or
You're talking about agile model, right? This is more similar to agile model. How you are going.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question? I can't hear you.
The deployment model is this agile model you are talking about. How we are doing that in the till the deployment and critical care and all different phases involved in the similar to agile model.
Yeah. Okay. So we earlier used to follow the same methodology, like while.
No, we were doing the earlier different methodologies, SAP
Yeah,
and all.
I'm
That
coming to
way we
that,
are going.
Jaipal. So, yeah, I'm coming to that, Jaipal. So let me give you just a clarification here.
Yeah,
Earlier
yeah.
as well, the companies used to follow Activate methodology only, but the methodology element or the process or the principles were different, not agile principles. Earlier, it was typically kind of a waterfall model only, but now it has been reconfigured to the agile methodology principles. Okay, so
Okay.
now onwards, or so whenever now you will see that if there is any company that is implementing SAP or Ariba solutions, they would be following this methodology. Okay.
Yeah, my question is the same actually. So will it
Yeah.
only support the agile model of methodology and how it works? That is what I wanted to understand.
Yeah, that's
Because
good.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was. So this methodology is nothing but an extract of agile methodology,
Okay,
which is
fine.
new one. Okay. All right. So if we talk about Ariba high-level implementation summary, we have, like I said, there will be 4 phases wherein a consultant would be actively involved, or a consultant would be heavily working with the customer. That is prepare phase. Here, the entire project initiation, setting up the governance council, setting up the executive sponsor committee, and everything, like whoever the stakeholders are, that discussions take place there in the prepare phase. Thereafter, you also discuss about how to scale up the usage, the adoption of the tool. You discuss all that in the prepare phase again. Then the initial system review. So basically, it's like giving a demo or a kind of a brief introduction about the overall look and feel of the system or the solution, what the customer is going to use. So because until this point, the customer is not aware how the solution looks like, except some elite members or a few members, selected members of that customer. So then moves to the explore phase, wherein a lot of discussion goes on behind the regarding the business requirements. That is fit to standard discussions and configurations. Again, adoption planning based on the discussions that have taken place in the stage 1 and stage 2. Accordingly, the release planning takes place. Then the overall movement or the overall project is put into the realize phase, because here, after doing all the preparative work or the preparation and the heavy lift and shift work in the first 2 steps or first 2 phases, there comes the data migration, the major task, wherein you need to be very mindful, or consultant will be specifically or very keenly looking after the data to make sure there is no manipulation taking place or no redundancy taking place, because we don't want to redo the work, or we don't want to again spend our time in deleting the records that are obsolete. Okay, so just to avoid that situation, in the realize phase, the data migration related exercises take place and the testing is again conducted. So this is a different, this is again a different queue gate, wherein sorry, wherein entire efforts need to be evaluated with the help of the quality principles that are assigned for this phase. Then comes the deploy phase. Like once you are done, once you get all the beta results, or once you get all the UAT results, SIT and UAT results, then you go to the deploy phase, wherein the buyer and suppliers are prepared how to help them about the know-how of the solution, how to use it, how to actually treat that solution, and what exactly they need to do when they are in trouble or when they need some support. So all the basic functionality, usage, navigation side discussions would take place in the deploy phase, then the cutover and go live. So these are the 4 stages or 4 phases that are quite crucial or critical for any Ariba Ariba module implementation. Okay. So this is something I want to spend some time, just give you some, brief intro about what all things can be done on the Ariba side or on the Ariba network, and how exactly or how it is different from other solution providers in the market. So if you look at this picture, it is quite self-explanatory, but at the same time overloaded with a lot of information. So let me help you out with this slide. If you look on the left side, we have buyer. On the right side, we have supplier. So buyer issues the PO, supplier submits the confirmation. Like once you place an order in Amazon, you receive a confirmation that your order has been confirmed. Then what update you will see is like your order has been packed and shipped. So that is nothing but advanced ship notice in the Ariba language. So Ariba advanced ship notice is nothing but a dispatch notice that supplier will submit when they are ready or when they have dispatched the material from their warehouse or from their manufacturing unit. Then invoice status. So on the buyer side, they get to see the invoice status, whether whether the invoice submitted by the supplier is correct or not, or if there are any corrections or errors that will be identified and addressed accordingly. Then comes the remittance advice. Buyer updates the remittance advice on the payment side. Suppliers can see the payment status on the Ariba portal itself. How it looks like, we'll see that in some time. But yeah, so these are specifically order status response, then service entry sheets. These are primarily used in the Ariba by most of the customers. So service entry sheets, I hope you are aware, like service entry sheets are used for service orders. Like if you have a facility management vendor, obviously you will submit a service order to them to get all your housekeeping services in continuation. So for such activities, you will agree with a supplier, buyer will agree with the supplier on a format specific for service entry sheets. So that will be exchanged on the Ariba network. So next interesting part which I would like to highlight here is, irrespective of any platform in the backend or ERP in the backend other than SAP, also Ariba network supports. So what I mean to say, let us assume there is an ABC customer or ABC company. They are using Oracle ERP or Infor or PeopleSoft or JD Edwards. Even after that, Ariba network supports this ERP, and it can be used to do business and transact or to exchange the transactions or purchase orders with a supplier. So that is the beauty of this Ariba network, because it's a cloud solution and it integrates and it works really smoothly with all these different ERP solutions or ERP applications other than SAP. And if you look on the right-hand side, we have few formats or few details mentioned here. That is about like the formats or the applications that suppliers might be using. Like if they are using any application that works on the OSS or Edifact or EDI or BIDX, these formats, then also Ariba network supports, and Ariba network can smoothly transact with those suppliers. So these are the different types of methods or formats that Ariba supports. I have just tried to capture here. I hope this is a little informative for you, but we will discuss in detail in the coming days. So it's quite simple. It's a one platform, quicker onboarding, improved compliance, because you definitely want to keep 100% visibility around the solution, or on the solution, at the same time your transactions. So there is a lot of compliance aspect involved here. Then the faster response, because the moment a buyer issues a purchase order, they don't have to keep guessing or keep waiting for supplier to submit an acknowledgement via an email or via phone, or picking up the phone and dialing the customer contact and informing that yes, they have received the PO. That's not going to happen anymore. Okay, the faster response, you can find the responses or the statuses right in the same tool with the same visibility or more improved visibility or information. Built-in intelligence, yeah, this means you can search the previous orders or something like that. So we will discuss about that. So whenever you enter some keywords, you get the recommendation. So something that is inbuilt in these applications. So that is about the built-in intelligence. So we will talk more on the intelligence side in the coming days or coming slides. But there is a lot of artificial intelligence support, or there is a lot of machine learning support going on for Ariba network. Then if we move forward, here is a brief explanation about what a buyer organization or a customer does. And in the next slide, I will explain about what supplier does. So buyer organization overview is basically they can use different type of modules, not just Ariba buying and invoicing. They might be using Ariba commerce automation, or they might be using Ariba supply chain collaboration, or they might be using Ariba buying. So there are multiple modules that are existing. So based on the module, they can exchange the documents. That is, buyer can send the orders or send the documents to supplier on the Ariba network. And to access the buyer account, there is one URL, that is buyer.ariba.com. And buyers, once you get the credentials, like once the buyer contact gets the credentials, they can access and they can do all these activities, like searching for suppliers with product and services they need, inviting suppliers, like I mentioned in the beginning, inviting suppliers to form a trading partnership. So yeah, that is very crucial or critical to do anything with other than buyer organization. Like just within the buyer organization, they can't do anything, right? They need to build business relationships. So that is how the business relationships are established with the suppliers. I will discuss, but the second bullet point refers to the same one. Sending purchase order and receive invoices, then order confirmations, ship notices, payment documents, run reports on their suppliers. So this is all the activities a buyer can do or can perform on Ariba network to get better visibility, better understanding about where they are spending and how much they are spending in the given time or in a given period. There is another aspect, that is Ariba discovery. You might have heard about. Just I want to give a quick update on the like what the solution is. Here, Ariba discovery buyers can search for suppliers and they can post the queries. So suppliers who have subscribed or who are using discovery module, who have account for discovery module, they can see those queries. Like it's very simple. So in Quora or in OLX or somewhere, you post a query, you get the responses. Similarly, Ariba discovery works in a similar fashion, but in a more formal or a business-to-business environment methods or mechanism. So buyers can post their queries like this Ariba discovery solution helped a lot for a lot of Western, or I would say a lot of other markets or countries like United States and a couple of European countries, wherein last year when coronavirus pandemic was on a peak in other country sides, So this Ariba discovery tool literally helped to provide a lot of beds or the the PPE kits or the masks, anything, the medical supplies related stuff. So it helped a lot, and it transacted a lot of documents. It transacted a lot of orders through this module. So there's more about it. You can get into that part by checking Ariba.com website, and you will find more information how Ariba Discovery works or what are the features of Ariba Discovery. So if we talk about supplier view, this is pretty much same, but little more added features, like suppliers can access this account through supplier.ariba.com, but what they can access is high volume buying organizations, like they can connect with multiple customers using one account. Like in LinkedIn, we carry only one account, and we connect with more than like 500 or 1,000 connections. So similarly, a Ariba supplier or supplier company who is using Ariba network, they can connect with multiple customers using one account, and they can connect with specific buying organizations that are interested in suppliers' product or services, publishing catalogs containing information and pricing that is customized for specific customers. To answer the question of Jaipal, yeah, so publishing, publish catalogs. Catalogs are something, that information, all the details can be customized based upon the customer requirement, buyer requirement. Then
Okay.
categorizing, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, carry on. I am hearing.
Then categorizing products and services so that customers can find them when searching by category. So this point is about the discovery. Then selecting routing methods. So this is very important. I will come to that part at a later stage, like how or what exactly the routing methods need to be set up to make sure that you are receiving the documents or you are receiving the updates that's issued by the customer or a buyer. If a buyer is issuing PO and it's reaching or it has reached your Ariba account, but you are not aware, so that is where you need to understand that your configuration or you have not set up your notification settings or routing settings correctly. So you have to go and update that. What exactly that means, I will talk about that part at a later stage. Then conduct transactions electronically by sending POs, invoices, and other documents. Like I said, this is very much electronic, very much cloud. So no paperwork. There will be no usage of paper at all in doing or in performing any transaction between both parties. Then the last but not the least, Ariba network provides fast transmission, tracking, and processing of transactions. This is for the benefit of suppliers as well. Last but not the least, I would like to spend few minutes on this slide. That is the Ariba project team. Like I mentioned, in the prepare phase, or even before the prepare phase is about to start or begin, on the both sides, on the implementation team of the customer and the implementation team of Ariba, on both sides, they would have aligned or they would have identified the resources. So that is quite important, because before embarking on any of these implementation, you need to have the right skilled resources or right resources to ensure that entire digital transformation initiative is successful. The expectation is pretty simple. Both customer and partner team members, they will be invited to, or they are supposed to have a cadence discussions, which covers the key concepts around the methodology and adhering to the methodology principles during the implementation. That is a very simple expectation of the project team. Then coming to the customers, partners, what they will gain, it's basically having or building a common ground or common understanding of the methodology, phases, work streams, and deliverables, so that the entire implementation happens in the given time frame. So if you are aware or not, but any cloud solution implementation is allotted or is carries a deployment time frame, so it has to be completed in that given time frame. But if you look at the on-prem solutions or big ERP implementations, it takes more than given time. So you tend to see there's a lot of extension happens during the implementation of ERP solutions. But unlike in Ariba implementation, you would find customers tend to, or customers, they look after the implementation cycle as well, quite specifically or particularly to know by when they will be going live, so that they could start taking the benefit of the solution. That's pretty much on the Ariba project team side. What exactly the training or what exactly the content or information will be provided, we will discuss. But this session or this project team training session must be conducted prior to the kickoff meeting. That's kickoff meeting is nothing but kicking off the prepare phase. So that's pretty much from my side. Then coming to the topic, I will show you the list of content or the agenda that we will be covering in this training. So this will be shared with you as well. You can go through this document and let us know your thoughts on it. So primarily we will be starting with Ariba overview. Today we had a brief introduction, but we will get into details like understanding the account types, how to maintain or manage the account, be it on the, for buyers, it will be just one account type. There won't be two account types, but on the supplier side, there will be two account types. One is standard account, one is enterprise account. I will give you a brief introduction about that account types. Then we will move forward with the Ariba procurement, that is core module. Then second module will be about supplier management. Here we will discuss about the entire supplier registration process. Like once supplier is identified, once supplier is confirmed in the sourcing phase, or once the sourcing event is completed. So how the supplier request or supplier creation process starts, we will be discussing in the supplier management module, that is the second module. And under that second module, we also have supplier performance management, that is basically keeping a track or keeping, maintaining the hygiene of your suppliers' information up to date. We will discuss more how this is done, what exactly the key activities are carried out or performed in the Ariba solution with the help of these modules. Then the last module is about Ariba Strategic Sourcing Suite or Ariba Sourcing. Here we will be discussing in detail about the creating of sourcing events, how to set up the rules, what exactly the team, who are all the team members involved in the sourcing events, and how to add the suppliers, then building the content, how to run the event, then after running the event, how to manage the surveys. Likewise, we have a lot of topics that are included. We will be covering here. And the final one that is that is connected or interlinked with the sourcing suite is contracts management. Here you will understand more about how the contracts or agreements, white paper documents, or the legal documents between the supplier and customer are maintained and managed using this contracts management solution. So this is pretty much about the Ariba training, folks. So this is done. This is pretty much from my side. So now we can take the questions. Please feel free to ask the questions, and I will see if I have answers. I will address it immediately. If I don't have the answer, I'll get back to you on those questions.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. In this topic, will you be covering the integration part as well?
Integration in terms, you are referring to which integration?
With ERP, integration with ERP, like Uh, um, I mean to say, if somebody is not using Ariba and they want to switch to Ariba, so I mean to say the integration part from
Right.
ERP to
So
Ariba.
you're talking about the integration of Ariba with the ERP, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
we will be touch basing on that part, like as I mentioned here, Ariba
Okay,
integration.
yes, okay, okay. Yeah,
So
sorry, I
this
missed
point,
that. Very sorry.
no worries. So we will be touch basing on this part. So yeah, you can
Okay,
wait.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Uh, Hello, Charan here. So this training will be only the technical training, or it will be a functional training or a functional type?
It will be majority of the functional training. Though I will show you some information, or I will take you through some of the aspects or the details of the technical side, but primarily this is inclined or more consisting of the functional elements.
So as you said, there are customization also can be done in Ariba. So what kind of tools? Basically, we have ABAPers in ERP. So like that, so what is the technical tool to do the customization, coding, and all this stuff? So how it is handled in Ariba?
Okay,
You
for
got my
customer,
question?
yeah. So for for Ariba customization, there will be a team who understands definitely Java and ABAP, but also very well understands the ERP side. So that team
Okay.
specifically works on the integration side and the customization aspects, which you just pointed out.
Okay.
So whenever there is so since this is a cloud solution, uh, so there is a limited scope for customization because it keeps updating or keeps releasing new features on a quarterly basis. So on May 21st, this month, May 21st, there is a new release. So the next release is going to happen in August. So if a customer goes for, if customer adopts, or if customer intends to go for heavy customization, that becomes a huge challenge because they need to keep investing on the maintenance part, because the patches, the new releases which comes or comes out of Ariba factory, that again need to be synced within the customer side systems. So
Oh,
most of the time, Ariba consultants, they don't recommend the prospective customer to go for heavy customization. That's what I heard, or that's what I am aware.
Yeah, because we are a huge manufacturing company which is established around 60 countries.
Okay.
So, because each and every country has their own law of the land, so will it be if is this Ariba suitable for the huge customers who is having the vast uh, units in all over the world? So there is, as we that there is a group company sitting at the top in Europe, and it is controlling all the plants all over the world. So is the Ariba recommended to implemented in that kind of huge organizations? This is my question.
Means you
Yes.
are asking, will it support for plant abroad kind of thing, and also, right?
Yes,
For a
yes, yes.
European setup, it will be there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think
So
taxation
yes.
will be the main thing. I think taxation issue might come. I think.
So
Yeah, of course. But is it feasible to implement Ariba at the top level and circulate the same kind of template to all over the plants? Of course, there will be the. That's what I asked you. Is it customizable? Because each and every plant is located in different countries, which is doing different kind of transactions. They are different vendors. They are very different suppliers. They have different taxation, so in different plants, because these plants are spread all over the world, not only in single area or geographical area. So this kind of templates or customization, so how, so it is, I'm going too much, but if this tool or an Ariba solution can be implemented in this kind of huge organization? If yes, if it is, so in which organizations it is implemented?
I think it is a very much functional aspect. I think so. Nothing much can be done from the customer side. I think our trainer will explain on this.
Okay, so
Okay, thank you.
just I'll keep it very simple. If you have asked me about whether Ariba solution supports the organization which has got presence in multiple countries, right? Operating in multiple countries, yes, Ariba very much
Yes.
supports, and it very much supports in a different manner, different ways. So here we are talking only about Ariba procurement, that is P2P module. Okay, but when you look into different modules of Ariba, it provides extended collaboration or extended support or extended functionalities like inventory planning, forecasting, collaboration, then subcontracting orders, vendor managed inventories, something like that. Okay, wherein you will be able to see all the information like whatever a customer manufacturing company. Let us say we have Honda Motors. Okay, they are a big time car manufacturing or automotive company. So they need to keep maintaining or upkeep their stocks on time to make sure that their assembly line is not getting impacted, right? But behind the screen, before a bolt or a screw or anything, any small component that reaches the assembly line, behind that, what level of efforts takes place, that can be imaginable, but most of that aspects can be supported by Ariba. So yeah, maybe not this module, but
So
this module supports
One more
features.
question.
Yes.
Which one is the more advantageous, like compared to on-premise and cloud-based? Which one you recommend actually as a trainer? Because we have a same debate on our side within organization. So they are going to buy some licenses for on-premise or cloud side. There is a big debate is going on. So which one we can recommend, or which one is the better features we have?
Well, Jaipal, I would definitely enjoy that debate, but my suggestion is I will leave that to the experts or seniors of that team or organization, because
Yeah,
they
we
very
are all beginners actually. Because why we are all asking you all these questions means because which one is the better exposure we have, learning exposure,
uh,
where we
yeah.
can put
So
in practice and all.
yeah, so it's very simple nowadays, or these days. There is nothing that works without cloud. Okay.
Yeah.
So even a very small, just to mention, very small application, or we assume it to be a small application, that's MyGate app, which is used across all the societies, right? It
Yeah.
also uses SAP. Just imagine. So the level of transactions take place, the level of information exchanged with the suppliers is humongous. So you cannot really afford to maintain all this data on the on-premise, data center or repositories. You definitely want it
Data
to be.
wise, we can go for cloud wise and cloud side, and how we can support our side, because the question is come to us because for taking cloud licenses and all, for 10 licenses, SAP is charging 450 euros per 1 month actually, because I am
Sorry,
the what.
I am not
Yeah.
aware of those details. I cannot really get
Yeah,
into
why I
that.
am sharing this means today the ball has come to our court. They are asking which one you are going to for, because advantage side we are also new to that. We are not able to decide which one is the better one compared to on-premise. Both they are comparing on-premise and cloud thing and all. So that is the thing, because even learning part also, which one is the best thing? I am asking behalf of all trainees also now this question.
Okay. So as I said, I think I've already answered. Like cloud is anytime beneficial for the organization in today's environment, because like I pointed out some of the drawbacks of having an on-prem, but majority of the customers who are using Ariba, and please remember or please note that Ariba is no more an on-prem solution. It's fully cloud solution.
Okay.
It's totally cloud solution. It doesn't, that on-prem application or on-prem functionality doesn't exist anymore in Ariba.
Okay, so my question is, what is the major difference between the traditional SRM and SAP Ariba? So what is the catch we can tell to our top management that this is the catch, the traditional SRM and the SAP Ariba? So how can we, in a single word or a single sentence?
Yeah, thanks for your question. I know I can understand, but I really don't have a very clear answer or a specific answer to your question, because SRM is something which is obsolete now. So majority of organizations have already moved on to Ariba. So what they're doing, I'll tell you, like in some organizations, what they do, if they are using SRM and if their licenses are still valid or their support is still active, they generally go for Ariba network license. Then they use it via the guided buying module or something like that, just for buying purposes, not for invoicing. So there are some methods, some tweaks are there which organizations follow. But if we talk in terms of SRM versus SAP Ariba, I think there is no comparison there. SRM is already an obsolete solution, whereas SAP Ariba is emerging or emerged or a developed product, standard product.
Okay,
Any
we have see, if we go for SAP HANA, so there are two versions of it. It's on-prem and the cloud. So
I'm sorry,
I don't know.
this is about Ariba. So you're asking about S4HANA. I'm really not sure about it.
Yeah. But so will it be suitable to only go with SAP has launched this product or solution which is only on cloud. So how many customers will opt for the cloud solution? Because we in SRM we have the crucial information of the quantities and the vendor information. So how secured is SAP Ariba, so that our information is secured on cloud?
Okay, you're talking about data security and privacy, right?
Yeah.
So we will discuss about that in our coming sessions, because we have here, right, the point Ariba network. So in this Ariba network topic, I will be discussing or I will be sharing more information, more details about how the data is maintained, how the data is processed, and where exactly is it's located, or how exactly it is dealt or handled. We will be discussing about it. But just for reference or just for quick clarification, please remember SAP is a German company and it strictly follows the GDPR rules. That is Global Data Protection.
Correct.
Hi, I have one more question. This administration also you are going to cover for Ariba procurement?
Yeah, we will touch base on that. Like on the administration side, what exactly the admin does, what rights they will have, and what privileges they will have, we will touch base on it. Some areas we will be looking at. Okay. All right. I think.
Here, I have a question here, please.
Question?
Yeah, I have a question here.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Are we going to cover e-commerce here? And if yes, are you going to show us some real scenarios between S4HANA as a backend and Ariba?
Yeah. So S4HANA backend is pretty much a common phenomenon in the market. But on the Ariba side, how exactly the transactions takes place, I will be going to show that. Like, how
Can you just show the live server if you have, like how it works?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question? All right. So
He's asking that can you show the live server if you are allowed to?
Yes, yes, we'll be showing
not
from
today.
we'll be showing from
Yeah.
Monday itself.
Yes, so we will be starting the regular batches from Monday onwards. The more information and details will be shared with you shortly after this session today. So in that session, so like here the content or agenda which is showing here, we might be touch basing on some extra elements as well, which might be beneficial, like what one of the participants has asked, the administration side. So yes, there are few account management principles that need to be described or that need to be discussed. I will I will share more information on that part as well. About one of the question raised by one of the participants, that is about the S4HANA as a backend and how it works on Ariba side. Once again, I want to say that in demo we will show how it works, how it functions, and how it behaves as a transaction, or how it reflects or exchanges information data between two systems, two partners, or two parties. We will discuss that in the next session.
Okay. Can I ask one more question?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Now sitting in front of laptop screens and just getting information, it will not be benefit like practicing and falling in fault, and you can correct us. This will be, I think, do we have some kind of practice and assignments, and you will follow up with us in order to correct our mistakes?
Yes, very much. We will be doing that. Thanks for raising that point. So our concerned team member will reach out, or they have already. They're already.
Sorry, I have one more question. So, will this help us for us? Anybody want to go for certification? This training?
So let me talk
Is this curriculum based on certification?
Yes, actually.
So this is the curriculum. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, you can do the certification, but any certification totally it's based on the theory information, theoretical. Okay. So, but there won't be any trainings planned by any institute which are focused towards the certifications. The trainings will be planning to make the people to crack the interviews and to work from the day one as an industry ready professionals once they get into the projects. Certification is going to be a totally different funda, but anyhow you'll be getting a knowledge out of it. But again, you need to have the theoretical preparation required for cracking certifications. But we have some other helping system also. Okay, you can do it. You can reach out after the session if you need any kind of queries. We'll tell you how we help.
Okay, thank you. And, so you are going to provide the server for a practice?
Yes, you will be getting a server access where you can practice. We'll be giving you the access also. And this is
So will you be providing the parent-child access?
What do you mean by parent?
That customer administrator access or parent-child access? Will it be there in the server?
Whatever the functionalities that you want to practice as a student, you can do everything in it. Any more?
Okay.
And here the thing is, we can see all the topics. This is just a demo session where there are a number of people from different backgrounds, from procurement and sourcing domains also. If anybody couldn't able to understand any high level terminology which was discussed by IT people here in the session, you can get to know like in the later sessions when we started.
So does it cover supply chain collaboration in this training? No. Supply chain collaboration?
Supplier network collaboration is there. SNC, any integration is there from Ariba side? Same question I am also repeating. Is there any integration with SNC?
Supply chain collaboration.
SNC, supplier network collaboration.
No, again, you have SNC and you have, I think, supply chain collaboration. So, collaborate.
So we will not be touch basing or we will not be discussing anything about supply chain collaboration. Okay. It's
So that's
more
not in
about
this, right?
only about the Ariba procurement, not about supply chain collaboration.
Okay, that's totally different. Is it?
So you need to remember that the supply chain collaboration is not about the direct materials, like I said, the raw materials and the big manufacturing companies or OEMs. For them, SEC supply chain collaboration is more suitable. But the Ariba procurement or the P2P or buying and invoicing, this module is primarily or mostly widely used by the companies for the indirect procurement, like laptop buying, headsets buying, or hardware buying, or some office fleet, or some janitary services, or housekeeping, something like that, travel management. All these things are carried out or widely supported in the Ariba P2P module. Okay, so that's great. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any more questions, please you can write to the contact that's shared with you. We'll discuss more about these points in the coming days. So thank you so much, and you have a great day ahead. We'll catch up very soon, shortly in the next session.
Oh, thank you for the demo. It was very detailed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Charan, you can call me back. You have my number, right? I'll explain you about the licensing part.